right, hello, I'm Mikkel C. Clark here for Mogul Millennial, and I have the pleasure today of talking with Darnell, the CEO and founder of H.I.M-istry. How you doing, man?
I'm good, my man. How you doing?
I cannot complain. You know, it's 5 o'clock. It's a sunny day outside. I think we're doing pretty well.
Yeah, we are, right?
Definitely, definitely. So we'll go ahead and get right into it.
Let's do it.
So customer loyalty, it is a staple of our culture. What is your philosophy around customer acquisition?
You know, I think before you can go and acquire any customer, you have to understand what their needs are first, which is the basis of why I created H.I.M-istry, was for my own needs. You know, it wasn't just to create a self-sufficient business. It really was understanding that there were a lack of men's grooming products in the market, especially as it related to men of color. And I wanted to be able to provide, you know, a source of natural quality products. But at the same time, I didn't want to exclude, you know, other individuals that did not, you know, have melanin in their skin. Mm-hmm. So, you know, one of the things that I started to understand was, you know, the way that the market was when we started, you know, back in 2004, you either had your ethnic-based products, which, you know, was existing, and then you had your general market, and there generally wasn't a place to play in between. And for us, we were kind of, you know, I would say trendsetters or pioneers going down that road, because we really considered ourselves that bridge the gap between ethnic men's products and also the general products. So when we rolled out to the market and started looking for customers, I really first started understanding from my background, what are some of the products that were missing in the industry. And then I, you know, have a pretty diverse group of friends and so forth, started asking them what was missing in their regimen. And, you know, having, you know, a facility where, you know, I owned a high-end men's barbershop that, you know, we offer facials, haircuts, and things of that nature. And me being a skincare specialist, I can hear directly from the consumer's responses what was missing. So my hunch was good on my side, but then I got that customer verification to really understand that, hey, this is missing, and let's start finding a solution to meet those customer needs.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
2004.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything I've been doing since 2004 except for like breathing and drinking water. That is incredible. So since that point, how has your strategy shifted as far as acquiring customers as, you know, business models change, technology evolves ridiculously fast? How have you seen major shifts happen as far as that?
You know what, as I look back over the years, there's been major milestones. You know, as I said, starting with the grooming facility in 2004, you know, at that time, I didn't have a skincare line. I was just offering the services, and I was selling, who are currently my competitors now, I was selling their products in my facility. So I started understanding what was lacking from their products, which gave me an opportunity to start making my own. And, you know, having a brick and mortar, you know, that was my initial vision, and we were doing very successful. And had an opportunity, you know, a couple years after that to start really looking at expanding the brand. So I had an opportunity to present my products to Macy's, and Macy's basically, you know, they brought me in, they started looking at, you know, the idea, and they were like, look, we see where you're going, you're not quite ready yet. So kind of look at these couple of things, you know, as far as it relates to our customer, if you want to connect with our customer. So I went back, started doing more research, refining my marketing plan, refining my strategy, and then revisited Macy's about a year from that. And basically they, you know, say, okay, we think that you have something here. Let's give you a test in 3 of our stores. And those 3 stores were just, you know, they were located in all different diverse areas. So, you know, they heard my story that, hey, we're inclusive, we're diverse. But, you know, at that time, you know, they had just launched Carol's Daughter, and they wanted me to kind of be like the next Carol's Daughter, you know, the men's grooming and the black man expert. And I was like, you know what, I understand that vision. And while that would basically give me, you know, a jump start, it wasn't my complete whole of my vision. You know, I wanted to have an inclusive. So they started me off small. They gave me 3 different stores that all had 3 different unique, I would say, customers, if you will. You have more of your general customer, which was more like your Lenox Mall, which was, you know, more your headquarters. And then you had North Park, for North Point Mall, which was more along the lines of your suburban moms. And then you had your more urban or more, ethnically diverse mall. Mm-hmm. And to their surprise, not mine, all of our products did extremely well. And we grew from 3 stores to nationally with them. And that was in 2007. So from 2007 to 2009, if you will, we were just doing department store business. My focus was having a major retailer like Macy's. You wanted to basically, absorb all of that opportunity before you went and tried to, strategize. At that point, we were perfectly fine with, continuing to grow our business with department stores. We all know what happened to the market in 2008 going into 2009. So at that point, when you're looking at these large companies, they really can't, engage with smaller businesses. We're kind of seeing that now with, the economy and whatnot and what's going on with retailers. And at that time, it was, the same thing. So, they came to me and was like, hey, we got to start looking at these bigger brands because they can come to more market. They can come to market with more marketing dollars, et cetera. And that was just we weren't able to compete because we're a private company. We weren't, the P&Gs and the Estee Lauders of the world. So from there, talking about, shifting in customer acquisition, I realized that no longer I just could focus on department store business, but I really had to start working on my direct to consumer. So oddly enough, that's when Amazon started getting more traction. So we developed a relationship with Amazon. We started really understanding the direct to consumer relationship through e-commerce, started doing more e-commerce business, refining our branding on our website, refining our relationship directly to our customers. But before we did that, one important thing, before we decided to go down that road, we checked in with our customers. We sent out a newsletter that also had, a questionnaire on there. We wanted to understand where would our customers like to purchase us before just going out looking for additional retailers. And, men were saying like, look, we want it where it's convenient. We don't necessarily have to go to a Macy's because that's not a that's not, that's a destination. That's not somewhere I go all the time. I remember specifically one guy, he was like, look, if I can pick up my toothpaste, my toilet paper, my H.I.M-istry all at the same place, I'm good. So, and I knew that, department store was more concerned about beauty and had like more momentum around, the female customer, and guys were not so much aligned with that. So it gave me an understanding that, while maybe working with this large retailer, I still understand that all of my customer base may not necessarily be the low hanging fruit there, and being able to really supply him or her purchasing for him at a convenient place. So online is really where we hung out for a while. We started doing some other test markets with some other retailers. We've done some tests with Target. We've done some tests with Hot Look, other online businesses, Costco, you name it. We were doing tests just to really understand where our customers lie. And where we ended up and where we are now is basically focusing on really where our customers are going to get their grooming advice, and that's to barbers. That is, our main customer, if you will, for our acquisition. Because for us, if we can service the barber community and help him understand how to leverage, men's grooming, not only to offer his clients more of an option, especially during this time of COVID, mm-hmm. Where they can also, make money off of products and also offer their services. So they have dual revenue options coming in, but it also gives them, an opportunity to create a different business model for themselves versus just us focusing on those, large retailers. So over the years, there have been different milestones, but I will say it's been a learning every single step of the way. It's just kept stacking and stacking, because when I started this, I really wanted to just have a high-end barbershop. And, I quit my job as a loan officer for JP Morgan. Back then when I started my company with my own savings, and I got to the point of, I wanted to do something for my own. And I started off just saying, hey, I want a barbershop and I want to be able to, have this business. And here I am now. Never thought that I would have, been in business since 2004 and then have this, global, if you will, grooming line. And, one of the things that we're, really proud about is just the journey and seeing the differences, and excited about what the future is going to bring, because there's going to be more growth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Incredible, incredible. And I love just hearing about the intentionality and the thought behind each pivot you made, each step you took. Like, everybody can't last this long. And I
Right.
clearly see why you've been able to not only last, but to prosper and to expand what you offer and what you do. It's
Thank you.
incredible. And I think our audience can learn so much from what you just said. And of course, since 2004, we've also seen social media change in every possible way imaginable and even like unimaginable, right? Like, we can't even,
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine social media being what it is now, probably even 5 years ago. Um,
Right.
yeah, so I'm curious as to what social media channels, if any, you found the most effective when it comes to acquiring customers.
You know, when we initially started, we had the MySpace page, a business
Hmm.
MySpace as well. Of course, that's no longer applicable as it relates to social media for our customers. We've done some stuff initially with Facebook. We have a decent following there. But where we really started to really engage with the customer and be able to tell our brand story collectively right now is Instagram.
Hmm.
I think that it's pretty much the space that people can get a quick impression of the brand by looking at our grid, looking at our stories, and then really understanding the product offering itself. So, but you know, as I'm having this conversation with you now, I'm sure, you know, years from now, we're going to look back and say, Insta what? Just like we are about, you know, MySpace, right?
Hmm. No,
So,
absolutely.
so yeah. So as it relates to the business side of things, I would say from the consumer, the B2C consumer, absolutely Instagram. You know, there are some conversations that we do have quite a bit on the B2B side, which is on our LinkedIn profile. And our LinkedIn, that's where we have more of our conversations with our barbers and our skincare specialists that we service currently.
Gotcha. And are there any particular tactics you found to be like your go-to for turning somebody from a follower into a customer?
You know, I think tactics, I wouldn't necessarily use that word, if you will. It's just really understanding what is missing and can you offer it,
Hmm.
and being able to understand what the customer needs and being able to communicate it to
Hmm.
the consumer that you have this product or service that they need. Not everyone is going to be a chemistry customer.
Hmm.
And, you know, at some point, I think every business needs to understand that not everyone's going to be a customer. So understanding what your product is and what you're offering is trying to make sure that you're aligning so that you can communicate your value proposition to your customer and not spend so much time trying to bring people to the party who are not necessarily going to participate.
So another question for you: what is your customer lifetime value, and how do you encourage customers to keep coming back?
That's so easy, you know. I'm, you know, not to sound cocky or anything, but I do have opportunities to converse with customers on occasion. You know, I get emails saying that, you know, to the owner of H.I.M-istry, your stuff really works, you know, just by them purchasing it. Because again, there's been such an absence in our community as it relates to natural or grooming products that are effective and that have concentrated ingredients. Because there's a lot of companies out there that are not owned by Black-owned companies, and they're making products, and they haven't really even had a springboard to test products on men of color, if you will. So that's the most authentic, being able to offer a customer an authentic product. And you know, you're going to have a lifetime customer. You know, like I said, we started back at Macy's in 2007, and just 2 weeks ago, I talked to a customer, you know, online, who was like, look, I've been purchasing your stuff from Macy's way back then. That's when I started in Dallas. And now I'm purchasing online. And he ended up reaching out to me because there was a little glitch on our website. So he's like, hey, listen, I'm trying to push the button to purchase, but I'm not able to. So, you know, I was able to, you know, connect with him to let him know that, you know, that was just like a mild little issue. But what I was excited about was hearing how long he's been a customer, and that he, you know, had recommendation. He's like, hey, I've been purchasing, you know, for over 10 years now, and over a period of time, my skin has changed for the better. But now I'm starting to be, you know, in my later 50s. So can you make some products for this and that? And, you know, one of the things that we're focused on now is that customer, because we understand that over the years of being in business, there is, a group of products that we need to start formulating for men that started with us. I was in my early 20s and I'm 42 now, when I really started going down this whole path. So again, understanding, the intentions for me starting this brand was my own need and understanding skincare and being able to provide products to consumers. So I think that the customer acquisition and a lifetime consumer, for us, we've gone and had customers all the way from 2007 all the way up until now. And I think it's just organic to be able to offer something to someone when you are in parallel and in alignment with their current needs.
Yeah. And it's beautiful to be able to serve a customer for so long that they go through like different life phases.
Right.
That speaks to longevity better than almost anything,
And you don't have to guess. You don't have to try to figure it out. You know what I mean? If your intentions are pure when you start your business, you're going to have your hand on the pulse of the customer. You're connected to it. And it is what it is. The proof is in the pudding.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's talk about abandoned carts. Of course, like when you get somebody right to the finish line, you want to get them through. Do you have any tactics or any tools you use to help somebody who's like right there and almost purchased to actually press the button?
Yeah, those are, I'm assuming you're talking about like abandoned carts, right? Where they get in there, they load up all their stuff, and then, whether it's a connection or whether the baby's crying or they got a phone call or some type of distraction, they just didn't push that button. We have an active abandoned cart list that we focus on every single day. So if there is a customer that, has not necessarily seen the opportunity to purchase, or they didn't see our offer page, because that's one of the things that we continue to always have active. Instead of waiting to receive a monthly newsletter to get a coupon code, which is what we used to do, and we still do that, but now we have an offer page on our website. So when you go on, you can see all of our current offers. They're generally anywhere from 5 to 6 offers. So, if a customer has gone through the checkout process and not quite hit the abandoned cart, then we reach out to them, letting them know to check out our offers page. And that generally converts them because they see that there is something in it for them, without necessarily having a one-time savings, if you will.
Gotcha. So the little incentives here and there.
Absolutely.
And as someone who's been in the grooming industry for well over a decade, what is one thing you would change about your early years if you can go back in time?
If I can go back in time, I think that what I would most likely focus on is really understanding who my customer is and not aligning with a retailer and their initiatives. Because, when you're a smaller business and you're trying to grow and you have an opportunity with Macy's, Target, or whomever, they're doing what's best for their business. And you want that purchase order. You want to do, because that's going to be best for your business. And when you start off, you're really trying to leverage your business and theirs. But one of the things that has really kept me up afloat and going is understanding who I am and who my business, what my business is and who our consumers are. And if I think that every entrepreneur looks back in hindsight and have things that they would adjust. And those are some of the things that I would adjust, and I think that is true to form. Some people start off and they listen to their mentors, and their mentors may have outdated information, right? So my mentors just happen to be, these retailers, and learning from that, if you will, and understanding who the customer is and not necessarily who their customer is, that, kept us, up in front of, I guess, leading in the path where we are currently still in business since 2004.
Yeah. I know you mentioned, of course, as you got into Macy's, you had some points there where you had to stick to your vision. Were there any specific points outside of that really made you understand how important it is for you to be in alignment with yourself first before trying to please anybody else?
Yeah, you when you start blurring your vision, because when you start off with your business, you have clearly what you want to implement. And then when you bring on, again, other partnerships, whether it be retailers or whether it be mentors or whatever, their input can sometimes be very helpful. And sometimes it can make you blur your vision. And instead of, focusing on what is pure and alignment with why you started this vision or why you started this company, you always have to trust your gut as an entrepreneur. And the hardest time to really trust that is when, you can't see things clearly and you're a little fatigued and you think, well, they know better, they've been around for a while, or this company's been around for a while, so I should, align with what their visions are. And, it has always been important for me to, zoom out, take a step and understand who started this company, who has the vision, who has the pulse on the customer. And then I'll always end up with the answers that I need. I think that, in any growth phase, you're going to get, distracted, overwhelmed, because that's just a part of growth. Mm-hmm. But centering yourself and going back and understanding your intentions and why you started the company has always been like my saving grace. Absolutely.
Darnell, thank you so much.
No, thank you, my brother. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I learned a lot. I'm sure everyone watching this is going to learn a lot, and I'm excited to see it go live.